Hello there ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new video on Scum. Previous video we talked a little bit about the turrets, their weaknesses, what they cost and what they can do. However, a few people have asked, how do you destroy them? Is there any way of destroying them? Well, let's find out. In the cupboards to my left and to my right, in the left are AT4s, as well as RPGs, and grenades, standard frag grenades. In the right hand cupboard, we have just a simple collection of guns. The newest gun being the Scar L, we've also got the Scar DMR, we've got an OM, we've got an AK-15, I've actually got one in my hands, and an M249. So let's see what this is going to do. So what we've got in front of us is a couple of turrets. They are not turned on. Just for the sake of this, we're not turning them on. They wouldn't fight back against me. I don't think so. In fact, that's probably something we should investigate. Let's just quickly turn them on, shall we? Let's just do this. Turn on. Turn on. And turn on. Let's get these things refilled. Let's turn them back on. Refill ammo. Turn on. Refill ammo. And turn on. We have 3 active turrets. Don't worry about what that is in the background there. That's for another video. Anyway. Let's start off with a couple of frag grenades. So, you've got to a base, you've discovered it has a sentry on it or a turret, so let's just throw a grenade at it. That was obviously right against the foundation, but let's see if we actually damaged it. No damage. Let's just chuck it right there. Okay, that did 2,000 points of hit points. 1 frag grenade. 2 frag grenades. Let's just confirm it. So, 1 frag grenade is 2,000 hit points to one of these sentries. Okay? Every single sentry has 10,000 HP or 10,000 hit points. One of these frag grenades is 2,000 hit points. Now, in my hands I have an AK, so let's just see what happens if we try and shoot it. 1 AK bullet is quite good. That's about 95% or not 95%, 95 hit points. So, 95 hit points for 1 7.62 by 3.9 round. Let's just put it into automatic, shall we? That's quite a chunk. We've actually taken about another 2,000 odd health points off of this individual turret. So, frag grenade plus AK might be your way forward. Might be your way forward. It seems like a cheap option, especially since frag grenades can be purchased quite easily. And for quite cheaply as well. What we're going to do is we're going to use an AT4. Because why not? Right? I like the AT4. I used to play squad. I love the AT4. What we're going to do is we're going to hit this turret right here. 1 AT4 is enough to destroy a turret. 1 AT4 is enough to destroy a turret. Now we're going to go on to the RPG. Now before we go on to the RPG, I'm just going to quickly check if this has taken splash damage. That indeed has taken splash damage. That is down 50%. So let's just admin destroy that for right now, and let's build 2 more, or build 1 more, shall we say, just right here. We'll just build him right there. Now obviously these would be shooting back at you. Only if you're inside their line of sight though. If you're outside of their line of sight and you start shooting at them, they're probably not going to shoot back at you because they will not have the range to actually shoot back at you. Anyway, 1 PG 7 round. It's still standing. I'm still standing. Anyway, we have knocked this down 6,000 health points. So 1 RPG round is enough to knock it beyond 50% of its overall health. If you want to take out these sentries, you're going to have to use an AT4 if you want to one-shot them. However, say for example you don't have an RPG, you don't have an AT4, you just have your grenades, you just have your standard weapons and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to load up the M249. And we're also going to build a fresh turret just to see if 100 bullets is going to make the difference. Alright, so let's just get this rebuilt right here. And I don't think it would matter if we turn it on or not, so it's turned on now. Get into our firing position. Take aim. And we're going to empty the magazine into this thing. I should also mention all of the rounds that you see me use are standard rounds. They are not armor piercing, they are not tracer. They are standard rounds. Now, 100 rounds out of this bad boy is almost down to it's almost down to 3,000 health points, which means a full magazine of 5.56 from an M249 blasting one of these turrets, just straight up blasting it, is better than using an RPG. As you can see, this is the RPG turret, 4,265 health points for one rocket, and one magazine worth of M556 has almost shredded this down to 3,000 health points. That's pretty impressive. Let's just admin destroy that again. Let's build a couple more. Let's just turn them on. Admin destroy this one, because what we want to do here is test the other calibers that we have available here. I'm not going to be testing the lower calibers. I'm going to be testing the calibers that most people are probably going to be rocking during their playtime, really. 5.56 is very popular, 7.62 by 3.9. We've also got a 338. What else have we got? We've got a 308, and we've got our 5.56 right here. We've also got a 7.62. So let's just put that back in there. We've also seen the AK damage, so we're not going to bother with that. Let's see what an OM has in store for us. So this is 338 rounds. 338 rounds. And we're going to target the middle. So let's see what one bullet will do. Again, we are using standard rounds. We are not armor piercing. We are not tracer. So let's see what that's done. That's only done about 200 damage. And how many bullets do we have to a magazine? We've got 6. So let's just empty this. Let's just empty this into the turret. Let's see how far we can get this down. Obviously, this would be a lot different if we have armor piercing rounds or tracer rounds, but we're just using standard rounds right now. That should be us completely empty, and the health points on this thing is down to 9,000. So you do nearly 1,000 health points with a full magazine of OM rounds, 338. So the next thing we're going to do is the Scar DMR. We're going to do some 308. So let's just chuck this back in here. We have our 308. We're going to do one magazine worth. Let's reload. And we're going to get a little bit closer to this because I don't trust my aim. We're going to hit this point right here. So we're just going to empty the magazine. For anybody wondering how many rounds in a magazine you get for the DMR, it's 20. So here we go. We are empty. We are officially empty. We have no more bullets inside this magazine. What is the damage? That's actually quite good. That's nearly 2,500 health points for 20 rounds. So far, it's actually looking more feasible to use the M249 than it is anything else right now. Obviously, the AT4 is the best thing you're going to use. Second up is probably the grenades, and then the M249 with 100 rounds. One thing that I've not tested, or one thing I've not spawned in, is an RPK. We might want to spawn an RPK in, because that has 75 rounds, I believe. 75 rounds worth. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get rid of all this stuff out of my inventory right here. We're also going to spawn in an RPK. So let's spawn an RPK in. So spawn item, RPK, RPK 74. PK, magazine, ammo count, 100. Okay, so it's not loaded the RPK in, so what we'll just do is we'll spawn item RPK. Weapon parts RPK, there we go, thank you. We'll just put that on my back right here. And what we'll do is we'll go forward. We'll despawn or delete these ones because these are now no longer full health. So let's just add and destroy. And let's just place that one right there. Add and destroy this one. Place this one right here. Let's just turn them on just for the sake of turning them on, because they always look cool when they're turned on. I look pretty good when I'm turned on as well. Anyway. Like, 5.56, the new Scar L. This is one of my favourite looking guns. There's obviously a bug with the magazine. Anyway, we are going to go fully automatic. Let's just double check that we are in fully automatic. We are. Let's fire away. 5.56 rounds. We have knocked it down 2,500. 2,500 health points for one 30-round magazine for the Scar L. Next, we're going to use the RPK. Let's see what this 7.62 monster can do. 75 rounds. Let's see what 75 rounds does to this turret. It's almost shredded it down to nothing. It's got nearly 2,500 health points. This has knocked off 7,500 health points. This and the M249 coupled with grenades and possibly an AT4, the turrets are done. The turrets are done for. If it is a rocket turret, on the other hand, the rocket turrets do have a huge area of influence. So if you're going to be fighting these things, make sure what you're fighting isn't a rocket turret, because if it's a rocket turret or a 50 caliber turret, those things have very long ranges. So probably best to keep your eye on those, or kind of make sure you've got a scope, make sure you've got a pair of binoculars or something like that, and just see if you can take them out from there. The last thing that I'm going to test out right now is probably the Mac 10. I did say I'm not going to use the smaller calibers, but it's the Mac 10. It's the Mac 10. You can't not have a Mac 10. So let's spawn in the Mac 10. Mac 10, and we're also going to spawn its magazine. We're going to take one, and we're going to do, I think it's 32 rounds that are in it. It is indeed 32 rounds. Let's just reload the Mac 10. Let's just double check we are in automatic. We are in automatic. Let's fire away. That's actually done quite well. 2,500 health points with 9mm. This is a 9mm weapon. This is not 45 ACP. It is 9mm. Standard rounds, no armor piercing, no tracer, just standard rounds. If we were to use armor piercing, I would imagine this would be even worse, even more lethal. Before we actually continue though, let's just for the sake of like experimentation, let's just see what we can do with this. So let's put that on our back, let's put that on our hands. Let's reload. These are black tip rounds, black tip armor piercing 9mm rounds. What we're going to do is we're probably just going to shoot this one, because why not? In fact, we could just delete it and rebuild a new one just to see the comparison. In fact, you know what we'll do? We'll do a side by side. So this is the standard rounds that we just shot into it, and we're going to build one right here, and we're going to set it to armor piercing. So let's just delete this one, because remember, you can only build 3 sentries to your flag. So let's see what happens if we use armor piercing rounds against this turret. So note that we have 7,342 health points with standard rounds. Let's see what happens when we use armor piercing. It's actually worse. It could be a factor of range. It can be a factor of something completely different. But what we will do now is we'll test it and we'll stand back a bit. Let's see if range has anything to say about it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to load another lot of armor piercing rounds, because I kind of want to see if this is actually going to make a difference, if range is actually going to make a difference. So let's just wait for this to reload. We'll reload the magazine into the gun, and then we'll fully automatic that third sentry right there, or that third turret. I keep calling it a sentry. To me, they are sentries. I know they are turrets as well, but to me, it's a Sentry. Just the same thing as a turret, really. Anyway, We're finally reloaded. We're going to step back here, and I'm going to take a knee, actually, because I feel like I'm going to get this completely wrong. Anyway, firing away. There we go. Let's see if range has anything to say about it. It seemed... Well, I did miss a couple of rounds, and I think I missed a couple of rounds on this, but it doesn't seem like armor-piercing rounds. It doesn't seem like armor-piercing rounds have any difference of effect on these sentries or these turrets right here. It might do for higher calibers, which is something we could probably test right now. Let's just test 556. Let's do 556. So we're going to just add and destroy this one, add and destroy this one. We're going to rebuild 2, and that one there as well. And we are going to whip out... What will we whip out? Whip out a Mark 18. Mark 18. And we're going to do M16 rounds, or an M16 magazine. We're going to do 2 magazines. 2 magazines. One with 556. 55. Oh, I need to do 5 underscore 56. 56. And we want... Nope, that's tracer rounds. We want armor piercing rounds. There we go. Armor piercing, standard. And there we go. We are first loading up the standard rounds, and then we will load up the armor piercing rounds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly jump cut. I'll see you in just a second. Okay, we now have finally loaded all the ammo into the magazines. Let's test out the standard rounds. This one right here has armor piercing rounds. This has standard rounds. Let's fire away. Okay, so we're 7,611. Double check that this is our rounds. Those are black tip rounds. This is our armor piercing round. Let's fire away. It doesn't make a great deal of difference. It does not make a great deal of difference. I might have missed a bullet or 2 in this one. With the jumping, with the recoil, I didn't control it correctly. But it seems as though armor piercing rounds, even at range, do not... It doesn't matter. It genuinely doesn't matter. I could load up the tracer rounds, but I'm not going to do that because, well, armor piercing and standard rounds are the tougher of the two. The tracer rounds are only good for telling where you're shooting. I mean, they're also good in a backup. Let's be real, they're not that great. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you have just discovered how to beat the turrets in this game. You have discovered that the AT4 is the king when it comes to destroying these turrets, especially if you only have a one-use weapon like the AT4. If you are using the RPG-7, you're going to need 2 rounds total to kill these things. You're probably going to need about 4 or 5 frag grenades. 4 or 5 frag grenades thrown at these sentries. 1 frag grenade is 2,000 health points, so you'll probably need 5. I'm saying 4 because you might want to take a shot at it if you really want to. If you want to use some of your 5.56 or 7.62. Next in line is the M249 and the RPK. They are very deadly weapons, and it seems as though the turrets are very weak to them as well, even with just standard rounds. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this has been enjoyable to you. I hope you've learned something. If you've enjoyed it, leave a thumbs up on this video. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Are you guys enjoying 0.96? I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm seeing some really cool things ahead for this game. It's going to be really, really fun, especially with the movement system and the fact that we have some really cool reskins and remodels. It's really, really cool to see. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to stick around for more videos just like this, consider subscribing, ring the little bell, select all, and you'll be updated when I release another video on Scum or anything else that I upload to the channel. Thank you very much for watching today, ladies and gentlemen. As always, I've been Mr. Feudal. I'll see you all another time.